Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We're taking a look today in the Discover Central Division. Who will get that fourth playoff spot in the Central? Will it be the Dallas Stars or will it be the Nashville Predators? We will be getting into that. So, the first three spots in the Central have already been locked up. You have the Carolina Hurricanes, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Florida Panthers, which means there are really at this point two teams fighting for that final spot in the Central, the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. Now, if you look at the tale of these two teams this season, it's been a pretty rough run for both of them, and we'll be getting into that. So currently, right now, holding the fourth spot down is the Nashville Predators, who are up 3 points on the Dallas Stars in the standings. They have a lot more wins than Dallas, so they beat them in that tiebreaker. You look at points overall, like I said, 3 more points, but Dallas does have a game in hand on Nashville, so they could make that a 1-point gap by the end of the season. Now, also remember, Dallas had to make up games because of how the season started for the Dallas Stars. Remember, they missed the first week and a half of the season because of certain things that happened during training camp. Bunch of positive tests, as well as their situation where they had a lot of snow down in Dallas, so they had 2 or 3 games canceled in that as well. So just a lot of ground that Dallas has had to make up, but they found a way to win hockey games, and they are right in the chase of the playoffs right now. So good job by the Dallas Stars, but now I have to decide which team would get in. So we're going to look at a deeper dive into Nashville and Dallas. So like I said, Dallas had a rough start to this season with all that stuff going on, but they were playing well for the most part. Now, once you get into, March and into April, the Dallas Stars were struggling a little bit. They were losing a couple games to the Detroit Red Wings that they shouldn't have been losing. They were struggling against Nashville. And they've since turned that around. In April, they had a really good month. And now in May, because of that great month in April and a lot of games being played, they have made up that ground and found a chance to make the playoffs. But their issue is goal scoring. They do lack a little bit of goal scoring, which has made things difficult. They've had some goalie controversy. Obviously Ottinger, the young rookie goaltender, has played well. But then again, now we had Hudobin, who was not on his game like he was last year, so there was a little bit of concern there. And obviously, with Ben Bishop out for the most of this season, that has obviously made things more difficult as well. The good news is Tyler Seguin has come back into the lineup, a huge help for the Dallas Stars up front. So that's where we are with the Dallas Stars. Now, the Nashville Predators are a different story. They came out of the gate pretty slow, and for the most part, for the first part of the season, they really didn't show much. Now, I was getting into the trade deadline within 2 or 3 weeks. We were saying Matthias Ekholm, Victor Arvidsson were probably going to leave Nashville. That is no longer the case. The Nashville Predators decided to keep all their guys. They actually added Eric Goodbranson from the Ottawa Senators. They actually added guys to their roster going into the postseason. They were a hardcore seller and eventually became a very conservative buyer at the trade deadline. So they found themselves on a good run. UC Saros has been very good for the Nashville Predators, and it's gotten them to the point where they could still make the postseason. Now, like I said, they have turned things around and they have been really hot recently. And the Dallas Stars have been all right. They've been playing a lot of games, but their hot streak was in the beginning of the season. So again, it brings up the question now, looking at their schedules. So Dallas' schedule for the remainder of this season, they play the Tampa Bay Lightning twice, and they play the Chicago Blackhawks twice, all on the road. So the Dallas Stars' home schedule is officially over. Tampa Bay, that's going to be tough. Those are 2 tough games. But then they play Chicago, who is out of the postseason. So they may be able to pick up some wins there. But again, it's not a given. They have nothing to play for. So those Chicago games, Chicago could steal one of those games. And that could be the difference between Dallas getting in and not getting into the postseason. You look at Nashville's schedule, they only have 3 games left. They have 1 game against Columbus on the road. They should be able to win that game. And they also play the Carolina Hurricanes twice at home. And they have struggled against the Carolina Hurricanes this season for the most part, right? So I think this could be an interesting schedule here. Again, Nashville has 3 points at hand, but they have 1 less game than Dallas here down the stretch. And I honestly think the schedule will be more difficult for probably for the Nashville Predators, because they have one last game and they have to play the Carolina Hurricanes twice. And again, it's not easy for the Dallas Stars because you have to play Tampa Bay twice on the road, but also you play Chicago, which again, the fact that they're not a playoff team maybe makes them, not as nervous for the game, and they're just playing their game, and that could be even harder to play against than the team that's trying to make the postseason and is more desperate. So who do I think is going to get in? I got to go with the Nashville Predators, the known commodity. The Nashville Predators, yes, they are not the same team they were a couple years back, but let's be honest, are the Dallas Stars really the team that they were last season? And they showed it in spades. I think they've done a very good job. If they get into the postseason this year, I will be definitely cheering on the Dallas Stars. But if you look at the big picture, with how Nashville has really just turned around their season. They started off, remember how bad they were in the beginning of this year? They have really turned things around, and now they look like they should make the postseason this year. I would have loved to see a Nashville-Dallas matchup here in the final week of the season. We won't be seeing that, but like I said, I'm going with the Nashville Predators, locking down that fourth playoff spot and probably playing Carolina in the first round, which is going to make things interesting because the last 2 games of the season, like I said, Nashville would be playing the Hurricanes. That could be a precursor to the first round series against these 2 teams. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Who do you think will be in the postseason this year in the Central Division at that 4th spot? Will it be the Nashville Predators, or do you think the Dallas Stars will come back from all that controversy, find a way to get into the postseason this year? Let me know down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.